Hello and welcome back. We are here playing Victoria 3 as Spain, which I think is a nice starting country to play as. It's not super strong, but you could still relatively do what you want. This is episode 3, I believe, so far. Last episode, we got into a big war with France on our side versus Great Britain and the US over Nejd, which we dominioned, so we were successful. And also, the United States gave us war reps, which I think is a little bit of a strangeness in 1.2.1, where I don't think they should have been willing to give us war reps so easily, but they just hawked it over because they thought that we could enforce on them, I guess. We didn't think so. And so we're getting a decent amount of income from our puppets slash dominions slash everything like this. We have been expanding mainly through dominioning. Expansion has changed quite a bit in 1.2, I think, in terms of how you want to go about it, because so first of all, annexing subjects now costs 25% infamy instead of 10% infamy, so that's a lot more expensive. But dominioning only costs 2/3 the infamy of puppeting. And so I've been trying to think of what the optimal strategy is, and it seems that going for dominions also notably, you can dominion and then annex instead of protectorating and then dominioning. Or you could still protectorate and then dominion, but it makes it so that just straight up dominioning is a little bit better than puppeting was, and you don't get as much revenue from the dominion, but you pull them into your market, you still get a whole bunch of other advantages before you straight up annex eventually at some point. But I digress. Let's continue on our merry way. The auto queue is kind of building a lot of the stuff we want. I've also been thinking that in 1.2, colonial resettlement might seem a lot better, especially when combined with public schools, which we're going to go public schools. Normally we prefer the private schools, and the reason we prefer the private schools is that it will give you more wealth education access, but I think for public schools we care about the assimilation, and the reason why is with the auto queue constructed everywhere, you have much less control over what your ability to maintain all of the manufacturing in incorporated states, which is generally what you want to do. And because of this, I think being able to incorporate other states is better. And one way you get to incorporate them is if their main population is also of your population. So assimilation, I think, becomes a much stronger thing to have going on for you. So currently I have this war for Kalat. That should be shaping up pretty nicely. Let's see what we have queued up in the research. I know we have quite a bit. We were going Quinine so that we can colonize faster. After that, we're going to be going canneries and mechanized workshops. I think mechanized workshops is an extremely strong technology. These PMs are very uh, and it gives several. It also gives mechanized workshops for furniture. It's mainly on the textile mills. It like bumps you ahead of everyone else. But it also gives the mechanized workshop on the textile mills. I think it's very strong tech. And after that, we will be going egalitarianism. We are going to try and push multiculturalism. This is another big change in 1.2, or 1.2.1 specifically, is now the Intelligentsia interest group does not automatically support the liberal ideology, does not support multiculturalism. They oppose it. They just endorse it. So we need to get individuals who are radicals in order to support it. And we are off and away on this war here. It should be pretty comfortable. After this, I'm not sure exactly where we want to expand. Our kind of autopilot way we've been going about expansion in 1.1 no longer necessarily applies. And so I think that it's necessary to think through a lot of these expansions. But it is what it is. Let's see how we're doing. We are, of course, trying to build tall here in Castile. Most of what we're constructing is actually in Castile now, and the auto queue is working on getting employment elsewhere. It looks like they have some sensitivity to economies of scale. You know, they are building where the buildings already are present. Like, notice we get 2 glassworks here before we get glasswork at like a tooling workshop or something like this. But for the most part, eventually 3/4 of our construction is going to be owned by them because we are laissez-faire. And so I think this creates an interesting situation where you are trading explosiveness for control. You get a lot more contribution with this, but you get a lot less control. You also get the loan interest rate, so deficit spending gets stronger. And so I think that laissez-faire is still strongest, but it requires a lot more asterisks to really talk about it being stronger. We're going to actually go for per capita taxation here. Yeah, that'll make a ton more money. And I think the landowners are super pissed, but we're okay with them being super pissed because they can't do anything about it. Canaries, sure. But like, if we look here in Transvaal, let's take a look at the population, because we're doing resettlement now. The culture is mainly not Spanish, so this is kind of okay. The main reason we didn't want to go, public schools immediately is because the church is radicalized, and if the church and landowners radicalize together, that will pop a revolution, but just the landowners by themselves will not, and the switching to per capita taxation is quite strong. We would prefer proportional, but we don't have egalitarianism yet, so we'll just go this. And we annex Kalat. I do have the opium on auto production. This is one of the few buildings that's like not in the capital, or it's the only rural thing we have on auto production. We really want it to come in and them to primarily construct opium here, I think, because this is the only province we have that can make opium, and so that will need to, you know, supply our military for the time being. I think we're going to try and pull Afghanistan into the market instead of annexing them. And so we want to find another war here now. We could... No, we can't Dominion them. We could Dominion La Plata. They have like a lot... Or sorry, Paraguay. They seem to... It's always really expensive to go after Paraguay. They have a decent population, you know, of 800,000. How are the resources in Paraguay? I've never taken a very close look at Paraguay. They have a lot of arable land here. Some iron mines and stuff. I was also thinking of annexing the Philippines. I think that since they're a puppet, we want to mostly focus on annexing our dominions first. I was thinking of annexing Chile, but I think letting them colonize first might be decent because they have a claim on the area. They should be able to get all of it at some point. Ooh. Then we, of course, we could annex the Congo. Eventually. Not yet, I suppose. I was thinking of going for Dahomey. Sorry, bud. It's only Generalist 4 infamy. We get a nice little landing. Eventually, when we annex them, we will get a border with Sokoto that we can use to open their market later, and also maybe be able to colonize Mosi, although it seems that France is going to beat us to that. It's not terrible. It's not spectacular either. I was thinking of dominioning one of these big countries. It looks like Ethiopia 1.2 is generally a lot better at coming about. Could also just dominion Bahrain, which I don't hate. A lot of oil will appear there eventually. I think I also like just annexing, going for the annex on Lanfang or Kutai. So let's just conquer Lanfang. Oh, we have to fight Great Qing. Now, we're not receiving war reps from them. So this will provoke a fight with Great Qing, and the question is can we smack them around for war reps again? I don't think we're quite ready for that war, but I think we want to keep an eye on that war. Conquering Kutai seems reasonable as well. Let's just do that. Now, hopefully Great Britain doesn't join against us. The reason why we're kind of, you know, trying to be careful with Great Britain in general, we're going to improve relations with them and always try and stay on that, is because they actually have a land border with us. Same with France, and we cannot win in a long, protracted fight against either of these two. And so we're trying to stay off of it. I think we need to add more to our construction. It seems that the construction is not always wholly efficient with the auto queue, but we will see here in a second. Let's look at what's expensive in the market, although I'm thinking we're probably going to go for, yeah, tools. And clothes. Both tools and clothes we want to push. Eventually we will get, what is it called? The reason we're just pushing more and more in the capital is because we're looking to get a massive throughput bonus, both from economies of scale, but also from encouraging manufacturing to be hyper efficient. Also, when the standard of living starts to get really high, we can start using some of the labor saving PMs here. Let's actually just take a look. Average is like 12, so it's not way higher. France wants an alliance. I'm kind of... Well, so, if we get an alliance with France, this will be good. We need to do it for the objectives. Portugal sides against us, which I think we're fine with. So, part of the objectives for hegemony is forming alliances. Why don't we take a little bit of experiment experiment with this. On release, alliances just seem super buggy and broken and terrible, and like you just hated them and you never wanted to use them. We're going to accept, not necessarily because I think it's good, but because we want to play around with it a little bit more. And we get Portugal siding against us, which is fine. What do we want from Portugal? We could subjugate them straight up, which wouldn't be terrible. I don't think it's worth it, but we could open their market and go for war reps, something like this. I think it will be very easy for us to enforce on them. So we are going to first just put in war reps, and then if nothing else happens, we will add in on the market. We will put on the fronts. I think we have a front with them down here as well. We'll put the 19 stack down here. And then we will use the 18 stack to land and enforce on Kutai. Guess we'll see who we sway against. Interesting that we can't... Oh, France doesn't have an interest here. If the UK joins, then we'll be in a bit of trouble. But hopefully they do not. We're going to get a tick here on per capita taxation in just a second. Very nice. Now we're making a ton more money, but we have to keep in mind we are going to lose a lot of money because we are going to stop getting war reps from the US. I think I want to go on to public schools. Kind of want to go against rights of assembly, but we kind of have a pretty big block of people who are unhappy. Yeah, so I don't think we can radicalize both these guys simultaneously until they are lesser clout. And so maybe we can't even do, I wanted to do public schools here, but this will radicalize both of them. So I think that will proc a revolution. We could go poor laws that just radicalizes the landowners, which I think is fine. We can definitely afford it. So let's actually go poor laws right here. And we are going to take one tick of poor laws and then maybe reevaluate and maybe switch to a different law. But doing it right now seems a little bit free. I think we're going up on the loyalists, trending down overall on the radicals. But we have, a big movement to restore legacy slavery, which we are not going to give into. Looks like no one else is going to join, so we're going to also open their market here. And then let's see if we can conquer any states for cheap. Well, first of all, let's see if it's likely. It's very likely that they just back down, so we will not add anything on Portugal, which incurs us any infamy, because we don't want to get any infamy from this war, unless we're going to definitely get what we want, what we set out for. So we're not going to ask for like some of these states, although I think asking for these states would be fine. We get a bunch of neutralities, and we are going to be landing when this war pops off. If it pops off, in 1.2, the AI seems generally much more likely to actually engage in the war, which is interesting, if it's a war in which they are going to get annexed, specifically. Which, to me, makes a lot of sense. There seems to be a decent amount of realism. So we're going to land with that guy, and everyone's kind of going to do their thing. Now, we are making a lot of money, which makes me, of course, want to expand construction. Especially because I think we want a deficit spend at some point. So we are going to, every place in the mainland, we're going to make sure they have at least a level 2. And then since we're mainly building in the capital, we'll go up to level 4 in the capital. And this will be a lot of construction centers. So this should be pretty, this should take us up a lot of expenses, but also maybe we'll be ending this episode with like 3 times the construction we started it with. We're getting a lot of money in a lot of spots here. In particular from Diplopacts on our... Like, the Philippines and Cuba are giving us this is no small amount of money. But also Argentina from the Dominion and Chile. So maybe we'll just look to continue to expand that and also go for... we're getting war reps here on Portugal. We will likely enforce pretty quick on them. We will be taking Kutai. But after this, I don't know where I want the war to be. Ooh, interesting to see the absolute border gore that East India Company is engaging in. We will, I think... Well, so we're a great power already, so this is fine. We don't necessarily want to push poor laws super hard. We're just kind of doing this because it's something to do. It's okay, but like, you can make an argument that welfare in general is like not too strong. So we'll take the pop attraction, and then we will reevaluate whether or not we want to be on this specifically. Catholic Church is starting to get... I think this 20% clout combined between the two of them is still enough to rev. Very happy to have both these guys powerful for double the bonuses. 50% migration attraction and 20% investment pool contribution efficiency is no small thing. So I think we'll just stay on 4 laws, but we will evaluate next tick if we want to switch off. And the construction's ramping up quite nicely. We, of course, will continue to expand mainly in the capital. We're going to build this because I think the capital is going to need the infrastructure after we finish everything. And then we are going to, I think, push the textile mills because we are getting closer to getting... Oh, no, not quite close to mechanized workshops. So let's actually decrease these a couple levels and do this. And then we will be going mainly into those. Great Britain wants a trade agreement. This is spectacular because we will get ticking happiness with them. They are genial now, so we can start declaring a lot more wars without having to worry as much. Would be happy to get an alliance with them, but I don't think they swing for it because they should be rivaling... yeah, they're rivaling France and being rivaled by France, so it's unlikely we can get an alliance. But this is really nice for us because our main concern in the first 2 episodes was Great Britain sticking their finger in our pie, and since it seems that they're not going to be doing that, we're number 6 great power, it should be relatively cruising from here. So, let's just take a look at what private construction is building. I like that they're building a silk plantation. I didn't even realize we had silk in Valencia. That's interesting. One of the things that's rough with the automated construction, especially laissez-faire, is you can't delete any buildings, so it's really hard to get max economies of scale bonuses in arable land, because you would, in theory, since this only has, what, maybe 60 arable land, you'd want them all to be the same thing, so they have max economies of scale throughput bonus, and this is not going to be doable. Because it's just going to build places where the auto queue is not sensitive to economies of scale and those sorts of considerations. But we're using quite a bit of construction. 215 out of... I don't know why it's... how we have 215 being used out of 180 available. I don't know what that means. Is that because of our construction efficiency or what? Okay, so we annex them here as well. Eventually oil appears here, which is why this is kind of a nicer spot. We do have a revolution brewing. We would like to delete a lot of barracks in various places, because we have like level 1 barracks in a lot of places, but we're not going to do this, because we can't. And now we can declare another war. Kind of a little bit more with impunity, because it's unlikely Great Britain sides against us being genial, although the AI kind of does some psychotic stuff sometimes. So we can maybe go for a Dominion on Orange. And then we will mobilize and put this guy here. Probably could have mobilized a smaller guy. Is France going to join with us? Why is France auto-joined with us? I wish we didn't have to call them in. But okay. I wouldn't mind if they left, but I want to maintain the alliance. Discord within the Catholic Church. We, of course, will choose the option that kneecaps them and slowly makes them decrease. Can you even see that? Yeah. And so we definitely are trying to make them low enough clout. Great Britain sides with Orange. This is unfortunate. I think a big part of why they side with Orange is because because we have an alliance with France, and so they are just chomping at the bit to join wars against France. And so maybe this is a reason why the alliance with France is no good. We, of course, are going to move most of our guys over here to the front that Great Britain has with us, and then we'll move our 18 stack over here to do that. And then maybe we can go for war reps on the UK here. We can pull in Transvaal, which is a little bit strange. But we can go for war reparations on the UK. I don't think we will be able to enforce it, but we can go for it. And then is there a country we would maybe want to liberate from them? I think it'll be too hard to do the East India Company. I think we might be able to land on the Hudson Bay Company. Could let them just consolidate that better before trying to liberate. Could also try and liberate Trucal states. Don't hate this. So let's take a look. Or sorry, not liberate country, liberate subject. Don't hate liberating the Trucal states, so we can go after the Trucal states. We will just land the Trucal states and maybe we can get this. And then we also have an interest down here, so maybe liberating Cape Colony so that they no longer have an interest down here will be nice. We can do another one. This is spectacular for us. The people must know of his depravity. Let's take a look where we have boats. Naval bases. Most of them are in Galatia. Do we have a bonus? Do we have any place that has a special port bonus? No. Okay, fair enough. We're just going to build another 10 here. Well, let's build 5 in each of them. Try and look to expand the Navy quite a bit. Which will handle most of our construction for quite a while. We have a front here. They have a... Oh, they don't have Cape Colony in here. I'm just thinking if we want to try and release the East India Company. This would kneecap Britain as much as possible so that we really don't have to worry about them anymore. So why don't we try declaring an interest down here. And one up here in Canada. And maybe we go for a couple more released subjects. Really take the bite out of them. And then we will be allied to the one remaining strong power, I guess. That can mess with us, at least. Austria and Prussia are obviously strong, but they can't do much against us. And we are going to be losing money. I kind of want to get into a deficit spend, though, here. So, very okay with this. We get our interests. So we are going to liberate the East India Company. And also lower Canada, I think. Or maybe Hudson Bay is better. Let's liberate Hudson Bay. I don't really think we enforce these. And we'll also go for war reps on Orange. I don't think we enforce these, but we might be able to get it through. Rev is decreasing, which is quite nice. So that's maybe a sign we can come off of poor laws. We can also just get them through. Not a big deal. It is going to help make our industrialists stronger, but they don't really need the help. So, what did we just pass? We just researched Quinine, I think. Yeah. So now our colonization should speed up quite a bit. We open that tab. Yeah, it's getting a lot faster now. Hopefully we cut off. We did cut off over here. So we could actually, if we wanted to, pause expansion here to make this one go faster in Fang. Oop, we had a general die. Let's see. This guy seems like a fine young lad. Strapping lad. So we should enforce on Orange pretty quick here. We get poor laws. Also nice. Let's see what the... Okay. We can white peace out whenever we want, which is always nice. Well, let's go for laws. I kind of want to go rights of assembly, but it's a little bit opposed right now. If we do this, it radicalizes both, so we can't do that. This just radicalizes the landowners and not quite the other guys. Could switch to private health insurance. Radicalizes two groups. Maybe we just chill for now? I think we just chill for now. In regards to the laws of the land. Hopefully we get a nice fast push here and enforce, and then we can just probably capitulate. I don't think we can land the UK to really enforce any of the war goals on them, so because of this, it's probably just taking Orange and then piecing out. Looks like they're colonizing a little bit here. We have a bunch of inactive trade routes. A bit unfortunate. We liked having the trade agreement with Great Britain. We are going to have some problems here, so we are going to look to wipe peace out rather than let ourselves get pretty occupied. It looks like France is pretty useless as in terms of an ally. Doesn't send anyone to this front. How much is even mobilized by France? Just 69% mobilization, nice, but they're 97% mobilization. Yeah, France is providing very little. Great Britain embargoes France, but we're gonna enforce pretty swiftly here, and then see our way out of this. We'll kick that at the front, like cute. Yeah, we don't want to mess around with just getting occupied and getting a bunch of turmoil and these sorts of things. So, given that I don't think we're going to enforce on this, I think we just propose this piece, and they should take it. And let's see how mad they are with us. They're antagonistic and cordial. We're going to improve relations. And now they're genial. Would you take a trade agreement? Not really. Okay. A lot of trade routes between our markets still. Let's see if we can use these. These techs incidentally seem a little bit better. Since you are forced to... The auto queue will force you to build a lot more of the rural stuff than you otherwise would maybe want to. Are we paying subsidies yet? We are paying subsidies. So let us start to use railways specifically in the capital. We already have the railways on in the capital, yeah. Alright, we're going to turn it on everywhere we have chops, because that's mostly home territory. So we're going to go sawmills everywhere, hardwood production everywhere. No steam donkey, but we'll go railway transportation, which will make transportation more expensive, which will make all the railways more profitable, which will decrease the amount we are paying. Oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that second one. This SOL is not going to budge for a while. So how much are we making for Orange, I wonder? Man, a little bit. I think we've vassalized them so that we would have access through them. We could annex them now, though. If we wanted, so that we can colonize this little Batsuo. Don't hate that. Just kind of setting ourselves up to be fast colonizing once we get, what's it called? I'm gonna annex these guys instead. Once we get the malaria prevention tech, like the better one. Which we probably are gonna make a decent move towards. I think that we actually want to pay for a lot more education here. So let's do this, especially now that it's secular academia. Doing the high-level university, specifically in the capital, will give a lot more clout to the Intelligentsia, which is another thing we're interested in, and then we'll get a lot more tech speed as well. And it will benefit from economies of scale, and this should cost us quite a bit of money, so this will also be nice. We will switch to labor-saving PMs here in the capital, I think. These buildings are really profitable anyways, so not a huge deal to put them on water tube boiler. We'll put them on first, just to make labor in general in the capital a bit cheaper. Chile is damaging relations. That's unfortunate. You've been damaging relations a lot, bud. Are you colonizing? You guys are colonizing. I think I'm just going to let them colonize rather than annexing them and colonizing myself. Or ourselves. We're going to add war reps. Oh, we can't because we're annexing them. Whoops. We have no... We're going to pause because we have no uprising. And we're going to delete everything, all these that are not in the home areas. So North Borneo. Oh my god, they made it so it doesn't scroll? Is that what they did? Baluchistan, we're going to delete them. It doesn't scroll all the way down. Oh wait, or does it? East Borneo. We kind of do want to get on skirmish infantry. We're going to swap all these over to irregulars. We're just going to use just the main army. We're going to go power the purse here. We can switch on to wooden this. Why don't we do this right now? That way it's more comfortable to go steel later. Might decrease our infrastructure a little bit in some places. We'll see. We already have this railway coming up there though. I do want to swap onto... Why don't we swap onto this? Skirmish infantry, and then import the ammo until our auto queue builds up the ammo itself. So of course we will instantly run a shortage, and we can import from the French and the British, or just the French. We don't have too many convoys available. Because of that, I think I'm going to actually come in here and turn all these onto cargo ports. Auto queues building furniture, tea, cotton. We'll just invade with our 19 stack. This seems like more than enough. Now where is your... You're in the North Africa HQ. You're from here? Where is this? Malaria? So we will delete the Malaria one as well. And we will get the Eastern Andalusia up to 5. And this up to 5, because I like multiples of 5. The main reason. Can we unpin this guy? Yeah, that general... He's not quite retired, but we put him on leave, an indefinite leave of forever. Now we are starting to lose some money. I think this is where we want to be. The investment pool is pretty big still. We're going to definitely be losing a lot more once we finish all these unis. And I think maybe... Let's actually ramp up the military a little bit. They currently are suffering PM penalties. Why don't we ramp all these up to 10? So I don't tear my hair out. And then in Castile, where I believe is our capital, put that up to 20. And the main reason we're expanding the military so much is I think we want to fight Great Qing again, take war reps. Austria wants a trade agreement. Now, we are going to need to start bankrolling people. I don't hate a trade agreement with Austria, though. It seems fine. We are going to want to start using Diplo to bankroll people. But I think having this alliance matrix with France and Austria is maybe where we want to go for our strong allies. So this is okay. So in this case, we'll go into Diplo. And maybe rival Prussia here. Land-paying military revolt is... No, we want to fight Great Qing in a different circumstance. And then let's come here. Tooling workshops are still making a tremendous amount of money. We are exporting a lot of tools. But once we get these mechanized workshops, we want things to be a little bit different. Or we're going to lean more into this. Why don't we up this a bit? Look at our infrastructure. I guess we're going to need another railway soon. Yeah. So we'll just put that in front right now. Full occupied. They should give in pretty quick. And maybe now... Well, actually... I want to go for Landfang as the primary war goal in order to go after Great Qing. So I guess we're going to wait on that one for a little bit. I think I like colonizing Igbo. Oh, that's a lot of arable land. So let's go in there. I think that's all just regular Malaria land. And we annexed Congo. We can use our handy dandy button to reset their production methods. And we're going to turn their port on. It's already a cargo port. Okay, we're going to delete the barracks there. And you're using 21 of 21 infrastructure. All right. So that'll be nice, because the main reason we want them long-term is because it gives us more space that we can colonize later. War reparations with Nej cannot be maintained. This means we can just annex them. I think we'll do this. It's just 1.5 infamy, just a little bit. This was kind of always the plan. Our infamy is pretty low. We are going to want to annex Landfang. Actually, we should have declared a higher infamy war. Do we have central banking yet? I don't think we do, so we can't start bankrolling anyone, but we're kind of getting into that range. Our investment pool is now very quickly draining, which is, we're fine with this. It builds up so it can drain. It looks like they're really not making use of all of it, which I'm kind of not keen on, but maybe we just need more construction to facilitate this. We're going to put a bit more construction, but it's going to be at the back of the queue after we've kind of settled in a little bit. And we have a lot of this military as well, so we're kind of going to be losing money here in a sec, but we're going to put in a consumption tax, I think. Liquor, I think I'd rather tax a proper luxury rather than the people's luxuries. Ottomans side with Nej. That is a bit of a development, so we're going to see about our interests. We're going to declare an interest there. I don't think we want to take anything off of Ottomans, off of Kebab, but I think we want to release Iraq and get war reps, maybe, if we can. And opening their market's not terrible. Transferring Tripolitania is also quite nice. The problem is I think it's fairly likely they back down. And I don't want to incur the infamy anyways. So we could just liberate Tripolitania. I like that as well. And we have a little bit more. Why don't we hold on to this for now, but it might just be liberate more subjects. And open market. Liberate Tunis as well. Don't hate this. Catholics are reasonably happy with us. Landowners are not super unhappy. Can we go for public schools here? Radicalizes just the landowners, which means we won't get a rev off of this, so I think we're going to go for public schools here. And they're instantly unhappy, but this is fine. We have a much bigger navy now, too. We get an Anatolia interest, so let's see about if they've added. Nope, so they haven't added anything special. We're going to liberate Tunis and also open their market. Maybe we should have held on to see if there's another sway happens, but generally they don't get another sway in this late. I think we land Nejd first. No, we're not quite declared yet. We are expanding the military quite a lot here in the queue. We're losing a lot of money. This is fine. I think we don't want to run this negative thing, so we'll just up this. It's going to cost us 9k. Let's not yet, but we will in the future, I think, to also help empower the Intelligentsia. Now, all these guys both rev, but it only gets to +10, so I think we might just try and go through it. We're going to land here in Nejd with one of our smaller stacks, rural folk guy, and then we'll land Ottoman's capital. Now we are genial. Okay, so I think we're in decent shape here. Yeah, we're going to be paying quite a bit more with the military. We do have to wait, or we're going to be a little bit... One bad thing that's going on is I believe our barracks are still adjusting. Oh, nope, they're fully adjusted. Ammo is expensive, so I'd expect to see some auto production of ammo sometime in the queue. Let's put some more stuff in our construction queue ourselves. Let's see this. Let's put first the railway, and then first you get the railway, then you get the this is starting to get a little bit, labor's starting to get a little bit expensive here, I think. Yeah, 13. This is kind of still okay. This is really not employing too much. So we're going to look around for a place that has a food industry, and we're going to expand that because the food industries will also, we just got canneries. Oop, let's set all this on what we want. We just got baking powder. Can probably get onto public trains soon-ish. Let's actually do that because we want services to get cheaper. And we don't mind if the AI is building railroads all over the place, where we have a lot of people. And then I think we will go into the... Well, actually, let's put these in North Borneo. And then add these in Navarra. That'll be fine. I think this is the cap. We got to keep an eye on that, though. If the support or radicalism gets much higher, we might have to change our strategy. Seems like naval invasions are a little faster now, too, which is nice. Politician dies. Cool. Now we got a jingoist who's probably going to be less unhappy with us. We're getting a nice little landing here on Nejd. Now, the Otto Kebab will be moving their troops over there pretty quickly, I assume. And we get the landing, so we will immediately start a new landing here with our big guy. And they are moving everyone to that front, so we will mobilize this guy and put him here. So we should get a decent push, and then... I think eventually we will want to move a guy over here, though. I forget France joins us for every war, too. We're, like, always at war, so this seems... Yeah, I imagine they won't contribute much to most of the wars. We're gonna switch over to canneries. And maybe build a couple levels. I think we just have one food industry. Yeah, let's just build a couple levels here in Aragon. Try and encourage having a high bonus. Curriculum disagreements, you're telling me? Well, we will force a compromise here. And let's see. Oh, France is landing in the capital too. That is going to be painful for them. So go France. Very happy. That is... Are we involved in that? That's not this war. France, did you get involved? What did you get into? This? You sided with Württemberg and Russia. Okay, so that should be fine for you. You won't get clapped there. But it looks like we also get our landing off. So they are very quickly going to not be having a good time, but we are kind of not having a good time with that. So that is a bit of a thing. Why don't we build ammunition somewhere that doesn't have too much going on right now? Oh, because we can't build ammo. That all makes an abundance of sense. Why don't we build... We're going to need chem plants eventually. We're going to build a couple here, because we are going to go boom booms. The hard times? Yeah. Whatever it is, we can't afford it. Or we're not paying it. Nice that we get this front before they capitulate. I think we will do the button thing where we, so happy there's this. I'm just going to reset the production methods. And do you have any military? I don't think you do. Yeah, so it's just kind of bare bonesy here. Looks like kebab is going to be a minus 8.7. That's kind of quick. Boys and girls, you're telling me. We get enactment time. We're going to take the enactment time. These people will get a little bit more radicalized, so expecting that to pop up, but I think that that's okay. The church, I think, is going to get marginalized relatively soon here. They're already descending into marginalization, so they're not going to be much of a factor. Coming soon. Landowners too, to some extent. We have a whole bunch of coal in the queue. It's kind of, we want to get all of our inputs a little bit cheap. Ooh, that's... We don't want to be running shortages of those. This is not employing very well. Yeah, but a big part of getting coal cheap is it's going to help all these get more employed as well. We get max education investment. I suppose we want to increase the institution now, because we will be using it. We are going to run negative, which is fine. We will just look to increase the government admins in the capital, I think. I think we have a few areas with insufficient tax capacity. No, we don't. We have... Here's isolated, though, so we'll put a port down there. And we'll have the millet do the things. And we enforce on the Ottomans here, so we liberate, we get war reps, we open their market, we liberate, like, everyone. And now we're ready to do another war. And we are very reputable. So we want a war that generates a decent amount of infamy. Dominioning Tripoli is decent, so let's go for that. Crazy that just France is just going to join us in every single war. They're just going to be perma-warred because of us. We'll also ask for war reps for them. Makes it more likely that they back down. And we have 90 maneuvers if someone joins in. Ottomans end their rivalry with France. Interesting. I guess we could have gone to them, but we can get them in the customs union pretty quick here, it seems. How close are we going to be to protectorating them if we do? So they have 35... Let's just get them in like this. And then if they want a defensive pact, we'll go with that. And we can expand there. Can also do this with the Great Mongolian State. Just owe them an obligation. And we might get forced into defensive pacts, but this is fine. We can get rid of the defensive pact eventually. Morocco joins. We can take war reps off of them. We'll put our two bigger guys on here. Do we have gentlemen in reserve? I think we might now. Yeah, we have some in reserve, so we're going to promote this guy, I think. And Great Mongolian State also enters our customs union. So customs union is having a bit of a come up here. You know, we get Iraq. We, of course, have this territory that we've gotten ourselves. The shortage of engines is a bit of a problem. This is building more steel mills, but that's not exactly the problem. We'll just take increased enactment time. This is fine. Trying to make these inputs a little bit cheaper. Might have to build a little steel somewhere else. Like here. Because there's not enough labor here in the capital. So we might have to pull off of focusing on the capital. Tripolitania backs down. Cool. So now we have 4 infamy. Just expanding nice and slow. Who can we integrate other than these guys? I guess Transvaal. Except we can't yet. Who do we want a dominion now? I think we want to get these guys through customs. Well, it's not too expensive. It's going to be a lot overall. I think it might be better to do it through a customs union. We did want to fight Great Qing, though. And we set up to fight Great Qing, so what we can do to fight Great... Have they not enforced here yet? We want them to enforce and then go after Lanfang. I suppose we could declare just for straight up Qing dirt, right? Gives us a lot of infamy, but we are kind of okay with that. We just decay a little bit and then take a province like Fujian. Oh, Fujian can make dyes now? I think that's a change. I suppose going for Jiangxi is much less useful. This used to be the OP province. It's not so much anymore. Like Hebei is... Well, Hebei is a bit worse, but they have a lot more resources. Also, it's contiguous, right? Which has some positives, and we can work towards, like, splitting China in half so that we can maybe get them into the market. Let me declare an interest here and here. Could just go after Bahrain. Cheeky little dominion here. While we kind of wait. Yeah, let's do this. The main idea is we are trying to wait for China to resolve their Lanfang situation. So this is a nice little war. Because if not, we want to have a lot of excess infamy available to maybe just take a state, another state off of Great Qing. We're going to be deficit spending for quite a bit here. If we need to, we can increase taxes, but our idea is we are going to get war reps from Qing, whatever we do. And so, with this, we will be able to, you know, support our current deficit. I think we go for war reps as well. Go for American war reps. And I guess Bahraini war reps is too, as well. And let's go to declare interests. Let's kill this interest here and maybe release New Africa. Ah, yes, I forgot about this. Probably gonna try and release New Africa here. Ooh. Is our queue not building? It says 204 out of 204, but that doesn't look like 204 worth of construction. Ah, the Spanish hail. This is one of the bugs where it's just building way more. So let's go to hail. It's spending way more on this, I think. Yeah, it's spending 132 on Spanish hail. Which we definitely don't want it to be doing. And that's because there's too much turmoil here. It's just eating up all the construction. This is, of course, a bug. Spanish hail. We can't cancel it, which is what we want to do. And anything that gets constructed here, because there's so much turmoil, which gives a negative construction efficiency. So we will probably have to up police force maybe to manage this. To decrease state penalties. But it's only... I think this only applies to incorporated territories, which is a bit unfortunate. So our queue is going to be bricked for a while until that decreases. Let's get rid of this. Sorry about that. We will just take a bit of care to resolve this issue here. So we will put down a decree to give emergency relief for increased welfare payments in hail to try and resolve this. It is eating up like all our construction, so this is a reason to not use the automated construction. Because this is an automated thing, we can't cancel it and just wait for the turmoil to go down here. Instead, what we have to do is I have to grin and bear it, and we're just gonna like lose out on an enormous amount of construction until that the turmoil goes down and the state construction efficiency goes back up. So what can we do in the meantime? We're gonna want a couple more of these, I suppose. It's not gonna really add to the queue. And just having a ton of employment problems here, we do need to free up migration in other ways for now. Or we need to get it so we're not discriminating against pops as much. We have total separation. We need to move towards cultural exclusion and then multiculturalism. Can't do multiculturalism yet because of the nerf, which I think is appropriate. But for now, we'll call it an episode. We have just been, having a bit of a tag along where we've just been doing stuff, and France has been joining everything, and France is our new best friend. They're just constantly at war, but they're in one of our wars, which is helpful for us. The big one is released Iraq, I think, and we pulled them into the market, which is nice. We will eventually want to protectorate them. This is sometime down the road when they're not defending the borders. And maybe the same with up here in Mongolia. They are defending the borders, and so eventually if we get a big enough power projection and we get friendly, we should be able to protectorate them and then pull them in eventually. So this is kind of what we're doing. Hopefully it turns out well. If you liked this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm stuff, and have a good day.